Okay, we've put this off long enough, so good evening, everybody. Thank you to our friends in the media for attending what's going to be a very big night for the region, the county, the city, and the state. My name is Jeff Flint. I'm the Deputy Executive for Brown County, and I am here to get out of the way and let the important people speak. So, without further ado, I will first like to introduce the Chairman of the Brown County Board of Supervisors, Patrick Buckley. Pat?
Good evening. You guys want to turn the cameras around to the coal pile so we can mark the date here? Well, I have to say, appreciate Jeff. He wrote down a bunch of talking points for me, and it's been being quite a busy last couple weeks, last couple days. Everybody coming together to get this done. I want to acknowledge that this is a journey that's been volatile at times as negotiations have happened, but I want to thank Reiss for stepping up to work with our community to help solve the historic issue for the city of Green Bay and the port. Tonight's vote by the county board will be one of, if not, the biggest votes that I'll ever be a part of. We're on the cusp of a historic opportunity, and I'm hopeful that the county board agrees with this tentative agreement that's been put together. I think between my fellow supervisors, Kevin Gannon, Emily Jacobson, Mr. Pyle to the rear here, they will help bring this across the finish line. They've been very helpful in getting this done and put a lot of man hours in to help get this done. From housing to riverfront development to business and economic impact all over Wisconsin, the impacts of this tentative agreement will be felt for generations. I'd like to thank everyone who's been at the table negotiating respectfully and honestly, including the county executive. Is Dave here? Still. Dave Henry, our corp counsel. Supervisors, again, Gannon, Jacobson, Pyle, the Reiss team. Right there we are. Keith and Christian. Oh, there you are. Sorry. And his dad, Judge Z, and Mayor Genrich and his team from the city. I'm not sure Brian, I think, is over here. It's been a long road that's taken right up until the last, 3 minutes to get this done. But I'm hopeful in the next hour or so, hour and a half, we'll have it all approved. So, that being said, let's get this done and on to the next one. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, thank you, Pat. Next, you'll be hearing from the Mayor of Green Bay, Eric Genrich. Eric?
Thank you. All right, well, thanks so much, Jeff. Want to start with a bunch of thanks, as the chairman did, but start with him. Really appreciate Chairman Buckley's leadership here in getting us to this point. As he said, a few twists and turns on this winding road, even a few recent ones, but that's natural, I think, when you're, when you're doing a deal of this magnitude. This is a difficult thing to do. If it were easy to solve, it would have been solved 50 years ago, 75 years ago. It's literally something that mayors of the city of Green Bay and other community leaders have been working on for upwards of 75 years. So this is a massive achievement by a number of community leaders, as I said, starting with Chairman Buckley, but also, of course, our county executive, Troy Streckenbach. Brian Johnson has been really helpful, especially in some recent negotiations with the county and with Reiss. Mentioning Reiss, of course, Keith and Christian. I think, a really important point to make with respect to their operation is that they're doing well. Things are going well for Sea Reiss. They could stay where they are, run their business, and be successful. They are choosing to partner with the county and with the city and with the community at large to transform our riverfront in our near downtown, to grow the port, to benefit the city, the county, and Northeast Wisconsin. So truly, thank you to Keith and Christian and the entire team, the ownership, of course, of Sea Reiss for recognizing the opportunity here, not just for their company, but for the community as well. Also, thanks to the entirety of our legislative delegation. A lot of folks have taken a lot of interest in this for good reason, understanding the impact that this would have, not just on the city, as I said, but on the region as a whole. Representative Rivera Wagner, of course, was my chief of staff and spent a lot of time in a lot of meetings with Dean and Keith and other folks in aligning us all, so really appreciate that work. Of course, you're going to hear from Diana in a little bit representing the DOA. Secretary Blumenfeld has been both understanding and motivating, which I think is really helpful. She's given us the appropriate amount of time, but also, you know, recognize the fact that that we got to get this done. And so I think that's been really instrumental, especially of late. Governor Evers and his team creating the Neighborhood Investment Grant Fund, which provided the $15 million, which is really what is making much of this possible. So I want to recognize Governor Evers and everybody in his office who have been so supportive of us. So this is, as the chairman said, a really big moment for us as a community, for a city, for the county, and just a lot of gratitude for all who have played a part, big or small, in bringing us to this point. So thank you again to everyone who I mentioned and those who I haven't as well. Looking forward to a positive vote from our county board, and then I think we're going to have some discussions with our city council as well. We are, you know, a supporter of this agreement, not just rhetorically, but also financially. So I think we're going to have some very good discussions with our city council shortly here. So with that, I'm going to kick things back over to Jeff Flint.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks.
And now I'd like to bring up a man who's logged probably a lot of frequent flyer miles over these last weeks and months, the CEO of Reiss Company, Keith Hasselhoff. Keith?
Just thank you. Thanks for everyone being here tonight. Man, these two pretty good speakers, right? I don't know, hard to follow those acts. But the Reiss Company has been proud to be a part of the Green Bay community for more than 100 years. And with this agreement, we look forward to being a part of it for the next 100 years. The agreement that they're going to vote on tonight will help Green Bay accomplish at least 3 long-term community objectives: relocating the coal piles downriver, redeveloping and revitalizing Sea Reiss's downtown waterfront location, which has the potential to generate significant economic activity, and then investing millions into Brown County's port infrastructure. I want to just note that this agreement is contingent upon finalizing a lease with Brown County. That's part of one of our immediate next steps to get done. And the nice thing about what they'll be voting on tonight is if we run into any hiccups, we're forced to get back together and figure this out. We wouldn't be here without the hard work and dedication of many state and local leaders. I want to thank several of them. Governor Tony Evers and his team, in particular the State Secretary of Administration, Kathy Blumenfeld, Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich and his team, the Brown County Board of Supervisors and its chairman, Pat Buckley, Brown County Administration and County Executive Troy Streckenbach, State Representative Ahmad Rivera Wagner, the members of the Green Bay Common Council, Port Director Dean Hain, and lastly, I want to thank Sea Reiss's ownership for putting up with this the whole time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Keith. Next up is, again, someone who has been supportive of this project and wanting to see it get to this point and wouldn't be here without the state's help and support. So I'd like to introduce Assistant Deputy Secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Administration, Diana Moss. Diana?
Thanks, Jeff. And good evening. Secretary Blumenfeld wholeheartedly wanted to be here. Unfortunately, literally on her way here was last minute pulled in another direction, But on behalf of Governor Evers and the Department of Administration, I am thrilled to stand alongside the leaders of Brown County, the City of Green Bay, and C. Reiss for this historic agreement. We know it's been a whirlwind and at times difficult to get us all here tonight. A lot of conversations, deliberations, and late nights went into moving this coal piles project forward. When Governor Evers first announced the more than $200 million neighborhood investment fund over 3 years ago, it was with the vision of using these one-time federal funds to build long-term impact for projects that each community needed most to create a thriving future. And that's precisely what the Coal Pals Grant Project represents. Getting here has been quite a journey. We've heard the Coal Pals have been dominating the downtown Green Bay area for well over a century. It posed a monumental barrier to neighborhood revitalization, as well as an environmental hazard. I've even heard that folks have tried to ski the coal piles, and I think we can all agree that Green Bay deserves a better symbol for our future. So putting this $15 million state investment to work means making a generational impact for economic development, for environmental and public health, and for simply improving the quality of life of our Green Bay area residents. So that's been our goal with this grant for the very start. I'm thrilled that we're so close to a deal, and we're finally ready to move it forward. I would say if Secretary Blumenfeld were here, she may have even brought her own shovel. And so, Troy, we're ready when you are, so let's get this done. Thanks.
Thank you, Diana. And finally, next up is a very important figure in all of this, and that's Brown County Executive Troy Streckenbach. Troy?
You upgraded me. The speakers who just spoke obviously highlighted the recognition of all the people who were involved in this. I was just joking with the mayor that 3 years ago, we were standing in this room when we did accept that $15 million grant. The reality is deals like this, as mentioned before, take a lot of time. And it's very complex. We appreciate C. Reiss. They are a private company, as mentioned by the mayor, who didn't necessarily have to jump on this. I firmly believe that they're doing this in the benefit of the greater Green Bay area, which includes Brown County and Northeast Wisconsin. And so from that standpoint, we appreciate the long journey that we just embarked on as far as where we are today. We do have still work to do, but ultimately, as mentioned by Mr. Hasselhoff, we did put into the agreement that hopefully the county board will approve mechanisms to help us resolve issues. I see Representative Dave Steffen standing here, who, along with previous administrations, as the mayor mentioned, that mayors before him were working on this, and we are very close. And I feel like we have the right framework, and the teamwork approach is to getting this across the finish line. This is going to take a number of years. This is not going to happen overnight. And no, they are not going to pick up the coal from right here and then put it on a truck and move it down to the mouth. There will be a process that makes sense, and it'll take the approach that is the best interest of the community and, of course, C. Reiss. In the end, this project in total, if we were to complete the full project, is over $50 million. This is one piece of that puzzle for the long-term economic benefit for Northeast Wisconsin's economy. And we're hopeful through our continuous building relationships, both with the state of Wisconsin, the federal government, we will be able to build out that full site in due time. And let's keep in mind that as of right now, as far as Brown County taxpayers, City of Green Bay taxpayers, all the money that is being generated currently for this project is being funded either through state funding, federal funding, funds through the Harbor Commission, funds through the state of Wisconsin's Harbor Assistance Program, or through Harbor, or ARPA dollars. So we're proud that we've been able to bring together a capital stack that allows the county board and City of Green Bay and C. Reiss and the state of Wisconsin to do something that's beneficial for the long-term success of this community. And so with that, we're looking forward to this journey. We, of course, have one major hurdle that we need to get by, and that's with the county board. But I feel pretty confident at this point, based on what we've been able to put together so far, it should be approved this evening. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Two pieces of housekeeping before we wrap up the formal portion of this. First, I want to acknowledge and thank our legislative delegation members who are here with us for the work that they've done and for the support they have of this project, just even getting status updates, wanting to see something occur. And start with Representative Rivera-Wagner, Representative Steffen, Senator Wimberger, Representative Franklin, Representative Spouty, Senator Wall, Senator Jacques. Thank you all for being here. Members of the county board, thank you for being here. Brian Johnson, City Council President. Jeff Merkus, I see way in the back there. Thank you for coming as well, and for everybody who's here to support us and kind of lend their voice to get a positive vote tonight. The other piece of housekeeping is everyone will be available for interviews, group interviews, one-on-ones. However, many of the county folks that have a meeting to get to may not be as available right now, but we can make them available following the meeting tonight. But as long as everybody else is still here and ready, willing, and able to talk with all of y'all, then that's exactly what they'll do. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you over at the Central Library.
Does anybody have any quick questions, or are you ready to go?
Troy or
Can you guys just explain what the terms are for tonight?
That's what we're going to discuss with the county board.
Can't share before?
No.
What exactly?
So there's,
We-
this isn't like a lease agreement, this is some other kind of agreement, and this will cover the DOA's requirement to get you guys the 15 million.
So we're to be discussing that, but as of right now, what we have agreed upon, Secretary has allowed for us to move forward. Inside the agreement with C. Reiss, there are provisions to make sure that we all stay on track with the ultimate end goal. So again, that'll all be at the meeting.
Hey, we'll be there in about
Once the
5
meeting
minutes.
ends, we'll make the proposal that they're voting available.
Hey, Jeff, I think we want to do a group photo.
Okay.
with C. Reiss and all the legislature. How about we just do it right here? Because that's where we're standing.
Or we can do it in the windows, so we can see the cold.